Man of Lemon-Snicket acquaintance once wrote a poem called The Road Less Traveled By, describing a journey he took through the woods along a path that the most travelers never used. The poet found out that the road less traveled was indeed peaceful, but it can get quite lonely, and he was nervous as he came along. Because if anything happened on the road less traveled, the other travelers would be in the road more frequently traveled, and no one can hear his cries for help. Fair enough, the poet is now dead. Unlike the dead poet, this video is on the road frequently traveled by, as most humanities and social sciences major that Ms. Camille Faustino handles is required to do so. However, the video you are about to watch is distressing and unnerving. And people unfortunate enough to even watch this video is far more frantic than charming. For that reason, I can no more suggest the watching of this woeful video than I can recommend wandering on the woods alone by yourself. My name is HU01-TAPAR. I am a grade 11 student from Humanities in the Social Sciences strand, and I suggest you to turn around and do not watch this unfortunate video. This story is entitled The Slippery Slope. This is the 10th book of a series of unfortunate events by Lemon-Snicket. Its genre is gothic fiction in here, which means that combines fiction and horror and death and at times romance, and also mystery. That combines fiction and horror and death and at times romance, and also mystery. The summary of these stories started in Briny Beach. Started when the Baudelaire children, not yet orphans, was in Briny Beach, wherein they are testing new inventions that they have made, Klaus and Violet. When they saw Mr. Poe, a banker, and Mr. Poe said that he have a very unfortunate news for the children, which the news was their parent has perished in a fire that has gone in there. And they were being adopted by Count Olaf, who at first said they were his far relative, but is in the nearest place. So Mr. Poe let Count Olaf adopt them, and the series of unfortunate events happened when they were in the hands of Count Olaf. And until in the 10th book, The Slippery Slope, it is where Sunny was in Count Olaf's. The two Baudelaire orphan, which is Klaus and Violet, was trying to save Sunny from the hands of Count Olaf and his troop that is in Mountain Front. They had Sunny in prison, and in there they met the Snow Scouts, which is Carmelita Sprots from the Oster Academy, and Snow Scout, which is masked, communicated with the Baudelaires using the VFD phrases such as very foul day. In The Slippery Slope, they tried to save Sunny, which they almost did, but Sunny rejected it because Sunny knew that Count Olaf and his troops were planning something bigger, and it was to kidnap the Snow Scouts, which are rich girls from rich schools and rich families. And Sunny wanted to be a spy and help these Snow Scouts not be kidnapped by Count Olaf. Also in The Slippery Slope, they knew that the last safe place that is supposed to be in Mount Fraught isn't safe anymore, and they need to know where is the last safe place for the VFD to go. The part in the book that I enjoyed is the part when the Snow Scouts always sang their alphabet pledge. The alphabet pledge created by Bruce is as follows. Snow Scouts are accommodating, basic, calm, darling, emblematic, frisky, greening, human, innocent, jumping, kept, limited, meek, nap-loving, official, pretty, quarantined, reasoned, scheduled, tidy, understandable, victorious, wholesome, xylophone, young, and zippered every morning, every afternoon, every night, and all day long. The other part that I enjoyed is when an accomplice of Olaf, the part of the theater group, is being nice to Sonny Baudelaire, who was imprisoned with Olaf, and he helped him cook because he was being a slave or something. He started helping Sonny Baudelaire on the chores or the things that a toddler even actually can do. But since it's a fiction and in the series or in the movie, in the book, the toddler can do it. Like cook, even get water from the frozen lake or something, those like that. And he was helping Sonny Baudelaire, and he was being kind, he was being soft for the baby or the toddler. Of the person that was part of the theater group that is in the villain side, they're bad. I can see their characters growing, not just the Baudelaire orphans or Sunny, Claus, and Violet. As a part of the book, I recommend to, when the part that Esme Scholar was trapped in the pit, I would love to, for the Baudelaires or for the Baudelaire orphans to, instead of bringing Esme Scholar up in the Montfort in the mountain, they should have left Esme Scholar in the pit, because there was nothing dangerous in the pit. It was just like a deep hole. There was nothing in it. There was an insect. The only thing that's dangerous about leaving Esme Scholar in there is Esme Scholar starting to death. The two very unfortunate literary approaches I would use in this video in the book analyzing is Marxism and reader's response. In Marxism, I would say it can connect to Marxism because Count Olaf, who the Baudelaire orphans met as a relative, Count Olaf is indeed poor, and the Baudelaire orphans and their parent was rich. They're very rich and they have tons of fortunes in the bank. But since they are not still in the legal age, they can handle the money still, and that is what Olaf is. The Baudelaire fortune, which he can acquire upon marrying Violet Baudelaire, the eldest of the Baudelaire orphans, or making them their children, which in the first part of the series is he did. He adopted the Baudelaire orphans, after which Mr. Poe, the banker who is in charge of the Baudelaire orphans' fortune, after being said that their parents who perished in a fire is dead. Perished, not dead ba? I think this mirrors, especially the Baudelaire orphans, in our society, usually those adults or even someone just older than us, they don't really want to hear what the things we say or our opinions. They say it's invalid because we're too young, we lack knowledge, we lack experience in life, and hearing words or advices from those people that is younger than you, it's like they invalidate you just because you're young. And I think in this part, when Count Olaf tried to have disguises to just follow the Baudelaire orphans whenever they go, and the adults or the relatives that is with the Baudelaire orphans, they don't listen to the orphans just because they're kids, and they somehow think that they know better. 21st century literature for me is about the experiences you have in this world and how you perceive them, how you convey them to your everyday life, and how you put them in the context that you have read, how you put those experiences and the lessons you've learned and sharing them with others.